Welcome back to Philly Phinds. Today, as you know, we have a special guest here with us, Frank Pepe, a cheesemonger. Essentially, he is a cheese specialist. Frank knows so much more about cheese than the average person. Thanks for coming, Frank.
No problem.
So, what exactly is a cheesemonger?
So, as you said in the introduction, a cheesemonger is somebody who specializes in all areas of cheese. Now, when you first get the job, usually you know the basic cheeses, American, provolone, cheddar, certain kinds. But as you develop as a cheesemonger, you actually learn interesting facts about cheese, like osso orate, for example, you'll say. It's a sheep's milk cheese. It was made in the French Basque region now, but it was originally made in the Pyrenees in the mountains. So a cheesemonger is somebody who knows all aspects of cheese. You need to know about pasteurization. You need to know about how the cheese is made, the process to go about it. And you pretty much have a more well-rounded understanding of the actual making process as well.
Oh.
Okay. So how many different cheeses do you actually know about?
I would say at this point I know probably upwards of 1,000 different cheeses.
Wow.
It's interesting because, like I said, when you first get the job, you know 6 or 7 basic cheeses, and then you get it and you're like, what? What is this? What is this? And there's always something new to try, and there's always something new to taste, and there's always something unique about every single cheese that is just a cool fact or something cool to learn.
So, this is Philly Phinds, and obviously Philadelphia is known for their cheesesteak. So what would you say is the best type of cheese for a cheesesteak? I'm sure it's not Cheese Whiz.
Well, the funny thing was, I was actually going to say Cheese Whiz. That's just because I'm a South Philly boy. But usually, if you were going to make a cheesesteak, like we make specialty cheesesteaks at the Bruno Brothers, which is actually where I work as a cheesemonger, and we'll use like a fontina. A fontina is an Italian cheese. It melts very well, so it'll melt very well over the steak. Usually use things that can melt well over it. So you're not going to use something harder like a Gouda that's aged like upwards of 2 to 3 years. You're going to use something a little bit softer that's going to give it that nice pungent flavor like a fontina. I would say fontina would be my favorite then.
So could you tell us about how you actually started working with the Bruno Brothers and your experiences there?
Actually, it's my best friend's father's store. So I started working there when I was 15 years old. I worked as a stock boy. So I was essentially just putting stuff on shelves. Like we have a big antipasta bar. So I was refilling that. And I was like, I really don't want to do this. Like I'm so interested in all this stuff. Like the guys in the store are always like spouting off interesting facts. And I was like, I kind of want to further like my job here. I don't want to just be that kid who stocks the shelves. So I went about the steps to get certified by the ACS, the American Cheese Society. You need to be a certified cheesemonger. You need to take a test. Like I said, it's all about pasteurization. It's all about the actual process of making the cheese. And it goes a lot further than just what people see on the surface, which is, I'm going to come in and try the cheese. Oh, it's good. It's not. And it's actually very interesting.
So do you like to cook, though, when you're in the kitchen or when you're working there?
Well, now I definitely do. I mean, I laugh. I think it's kind of funny because all the people in the shop were never like big on cooking before they start working in the shop. And then you get in and you're like, well, yeah, I'm like a professional chef now. We're not professional chefs, but we all think we are. We all think we are at heart. But yeah, I definitely love cooking. Like I said, I was a stock boy first, and every single Sunday when I went into work, I was the kid who had to make everybody breakfast in the morning, and these guys are like real, like they want good stuff. So like you can't just make them eggs. You gotta like find a unique way to introduce new styles and like different kinds of foods.
So what's your favorite dish to make?
My favorite dish? Let's see. Well, I'm a big steak guy, so I love all different kinds of steaks. So actually, I'll tell you a funny story. The first steak I actually ever cooked was in a Mark Vetri restaurant. Mark Vetri is like a big chef in Philadelphia. And he introduces new styles. He's a very Italian guy. All of his restaurants are based around Italian things. But he uses things like mortadella, like different types of Italian specialties, which is essentially what the Bruno's is. They're an Italian specialty store. So he buys a lot of his product from the Bruno's, and I was in his restaurant one night. He was like, yeah, come back. You're going to cook something with me. I was like, what? I'm going to cook something with you? I'm not prepared to do this. And so I'd have to say his steak in particular is one of my favorite meals and dishes to cook because he has a lot of cool sides and just really, really good.
So when people are buying cheese, I mean, would you say maybe there's a certain season for a cheese? I know this sounds silly, but.
Well, there actually, cheeses go in and out of season. So there actually will be cheeses that we only will have during the summer. There will be cheeses that we only have during the fall, and et cetera. So I'll give you an example. There's something called Vampire Slayer. It's not really called Vampire Slayer, but that's what we call it around the shop. And it only comes around during like the fall seasons, like October, around Halloween, and it's actually a cheese that is infused with garlic. And it has a very interesting flavor and taste, but it's like I said, it's a seasonal cheese. So yeah, the cheeses do go in and out of season.
Just very quickly, last question. What advice can you give viewers at home about like buying cheese in store?
So if you were to go into a place like the Bruno Brothers, the best piece of advice I could give would be to ask the person, the cheesemonger that you're dealing with, what their favorite cheese is, because I promise they will never, ever, ever steer you wrong. They will never have the same favorite cheese on the same day either. Cheeses vary. You're going to change a different cheese every single day. So you might like something one day, you might not the other day, and I would just say go with your cheesemonger.
That sounds good. Well, it's been a pleasure to have you, Frank. That will just about do it for today's segment of Philly Phinds. After this show, hopefully you've exercised your Philadelphia train of thought from John's Roast Pork to the Eastern State Penitentiary.
If there are any questions or comments, please feel free to email us at lasalletv@lasalle.edu. You can also find us on social media via YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter.
Be sure to check out all the exclusive content found online from Khalees Gaynor and Frank Pepe. I'm Catherine Goldschmidt, and thank you for watching. See you next week. Sorry about that.